Hello and welcome to Get Financially Fit with Debbie Hancock, Season 2. This is April 2025 and we've just closed out Q1. So how did Q1 go for you? So we're talking about January to March 2025. If I'm being honest, for me it was a real mixed bag, and there's definitely some wins and some learnings to take forward into Q2. There's also some changes I'm going to make to actually bring my revenue back on target and continue to live the life I want to live, because I took a bit of a hit last quarter, and financially it's a bit pants, but I know that I have a safety net in place, and that's what I'm always encouraging business owners to do. If you can have an emergency fund, a rainy day fund, whatever you want to call it, within your business and personally, it means that when business maybe takes a bit of a slump, you don't necessarily need to go into panic mode and start slashing important things in your business to survive, and then be able to have the energy and the right mindset to move forward and continue building that business. So we want to take a look back at Q1. So I want you to take your journals and the pictures in your phone, calendars, whatever it is you use to record plans and what's been happening, and really reflect on your wins and your learnings from Q1. So before we dive into the financials, let's just look at what did we achieve in business and what did we achieve in life, and what did we learn from business and what did we learn in life, and how did we feel about those things, and what went well, what didn't go so well, and what changes we might want to make going forward. So the reason I don't want to talk financials yet is because I really want to delve into not just the numbers and potentially like this didn't go well, that didn't go well, oh it's okay, I work 60 hours a week so no wonder my revenue went up. I really want to look at what happened in your life and your business, and then we can reflect on how your life possibly impacted your business. So most of you will probably know that my nan passed away before Christmas, and that had a real impact on my January. So January I really focused on serving my clients, and turning up for the things that just couldn't be moved. Everything else kind of got sidelined because I really wanted to be there for my mum and my family, and I just couldn't focus, and I didn't think it was right to take on new clients when my brain didn't have capacity for that. And you can then see the impact of that on my business over the next couple of months, because we know that if we don't do certain activities, that will have an impact 2, 3, 4 months down the line. That's just how it works. But now it's like, okay, that happened and that's life and I can't change that, but I can reflect on the impact that had and actually how I handled it. And the fact that I allowed myself to take that space is massive, because previously I maybe wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, oh, just push forward, push through. And so it's not just about the numbers. But if we do want to focus on the numbers, after you've done your wins and learnings, etc., we can then delve into the accounting system, and we can look at your profit and loss accounts. And we can look at what are your sales for Q1, and what are your sales broken down into the different services and products you sell. And you can compare these to previous quarters, so you can compare it to the previous quarter, or you can compare it to the same quarter last year, because especially if your business is seasonal, it's important to compare like for like. You can also compare to your forecast. And when we're comparing the numbers, ultimately we just end up with ups and downs and numbers. What's really important is understanding why that's happened. So if your revenue was higher than your forecast, what did you do well? How did you make that happen? Was that something that you'd done 6 months previous coming through in those numbers? Was that the fact that you followed up more for those sales? Was it that you done ads and ads worked really well for you? What was it that had caused the sales to go up or down in Q1? And if they were better than the prior year, what have you changed from last year to this year? I hope there is obviously some price adjustments in there, because obviously we've seen inflation in the market. We've seen a lot of costs going up, especially for bricks and mortar businesses. Come April, we've got rates and rent, water, electricity, suppliers, all sorts of stuff, as well as minimum wage and national insurance changes. But that's delving into what to expect in Q2. So let's just concentrate on Q1. What happened? What's the reasoning behind that? Why is there a variance? Is it a positive variance? Is it a negative variance? What is it? Then we can start to move down the profit and loss account, and we can look at the costs. So have costs gone up? Have costs gone down? Cost of sales, you might be expecting that they will go up in line with your sales if you're selling certain products. So is that reflective of that? Do you need to do a stock adjustment to make sure the numbers are actually comparable? And then your other costs, are they producing a good return on investment? So are they bringing you back time or money? Are there any costs that you maybe need to negotiate now? So looking at insurances, utility providers, even in terms of the way that you take payments in the business, does that need to be reviewed? Have those costs gone up or down? Or are there any costs that are basically vital for your business? So keeping the lights on. For me, that would be like indemnity insurance. I have no choice but to have insurance. I have no choice but to have my professional body qualifications and AML protection. So what is that in your business? Is it that you have to have premises? Is it you've got gas and electricity? Is it that you have employees within the business? What costs are vital and what buys you time and money? So once you've got those numbers, you can then start to look at other stuff within the business. You can look at your profit. So was your profit up or down? Did you take dividends? Was your dividends up or down? How did you best utilise tax? Did you put a pension through the business? Was that up or down? And then you can start to look at other things such as your sales. So how many leads did you have in the business? Were they qualified leads? How many did you get onto sales calls if that's your process? How many converted? And what are the average value of your sales? So we're looking at what went well within the business and what didn't go so well within the business. So I've been quite open and honest on social media. I didn't hit my sales targets in Q1, and actually my revenue dropped in Q1. So I work with a really big client who costs have just going astronomical come April, and we've put all sorts of things into the business. We bought outsourced staff internally, we changed shift patterns so there was no overlap, prices went up, massive negotiation in terms of rent, negotiation in terms of like utility bills, looking at marketing and how best to make that work moving forward, what's the lifetime value of the customer. And we got to the point where actually, because of the rates and the rent and other stuff, we were finding it difficult to work out how to make the business viable moving forward. And so I was the last big cost on the profit and loss account. And as the person is a qualified accountant themselves, they decided the best thing to do was to bring that internally, or a chunk of that internally for now, to try and get the business into a more stable position, and then potentially outsource again. But it makes sense. It's a business decision, and we have to make these difficult business decisions sometimes. So I'll still be in contact with them. I'm still doing certain parts of the work for them, but some of it is going internally to try and bring that cost under control for the moment. And another client has decided to close their business. So I lost 30% of my revenue in a very short space of time. And due to everything that happened at the beginning of the year, I haven't replace that. And I don't actually want to replace that, because I don't want more accounting and tax work. I really want more financial director type work, working with people to align their business to where they want to go and what they want to do, and providing the sort of advice around strategy and tax planning, but mindset, etc. So moving forward more in a fractional director type way. And so it's actually given me clarity, because it's taken away that safety net I had. I had this, I had the recurring income. So while I was doing scary things like the speaker reel and getting on stage and following up with people more, I still had that protection that was holding me back. And so now it's like, okay, I now need to crack on and do the important things in business and make the difficult decisions and do the uncomfortable things even more than I was already doing. So that's one of the learnings. And then it's taking it forward into Q2, and what are you going to do in Q2 to change your situation? Because if you continue to do what you have always done and it is not working, you're going to get more of the same in Q2. So by reflecting on Q1, you can really learn about what is working in your business and what is not. Do you need to look at your pricing? Do you need to look at your cost of sales? Do you need to look at your staff setup? Is it better in-house or is it better externally? Who do you need to bring in to help? Like, what part of the business is not working? Do you need some sales expertise? Do you need to run ads? Do you need some marketing support? Do you need someone to come in and do the cleaning in your premises, because actually you're spending time doing that and therefore not focusing on moving the business forward? What do you need to change in your business to make a change in Q2? And it's really important that you take the time to reflect that. Otherwise, we'll get to Q3 and you're going to have the same story and the same situation. If it's all going well, great. What can you knuckle down on? What can you continue to do? What can you put more money into? If it's more sales calls, do you need to get some help on having more sales calls? If it's the ads are really working, do you need to put more money into the ads? What is it? It's so important that you take this time to reflect and really build the business that you want to going forward. If you want some advice, you know how to contact me. I'm over on LinkedIn. Or, of course, take my quiz. Are you ready to take more profit from your business? I look forward to seeing you on episode 2. Thank you.